known as $2 Tuesdays at WagerTalk.com and SportsMemo.com, where you can get the hottest handicappers' best bet or daily package for only $2.
Welcome back right here, guys, to Wager Talk TV. And it feels good to be back today, guys. Feels good for a lot of different reasons. I just moved into a brand new house. Super excited about that. But there's another reason that I'm a little bit excited, and I'm not too surprised by that reason either. The Montreal Canadiens take it in Game 7 over the Toronto Maple Leafs, and it makes it that much sweeter that everyone told me that my team didn't have what it takes. The Leafs were the best team by far in the division, and they do what they always do, and they collapse. And I always said the depth matters, and when you have two of your best players score one goal through 7 games, that's what happens. Wanted to throw out a little stat here for you, Carm, before I throw it to you. Mitch Marner, guy that, he makes a good amount of money. He's a pretty wealthy guy. He makes more money than Nathan McKinnon, David Pastrnak, Braden Point, Alexander Barkov. The list goes on. That guy, he might not be in round 2, but he's making a lot of money, brother.
Yeah, Andrew, settle down a little bit. It's going to be Winnipeg in 3, even though it's a 7-game series. They might call the mercy rule after the first 3 games. All kidding aside, listen, some great NHL games last night. Obviously, one in Boston that win to overtime and win over the total. I was pretty happy about that, as were my clients. And, of course, that Game 7 in Toronto yesterday. Listen, and we'll get into it as the show goes on, but there's so many days that I celebrate throughout the year. My birthday, which I turn into a birthday week each and every year and get together with my friends at the pubs and stuff. The anniversary with my wife, Christmas, which I absolutely love. And then what has become a ritual every single year, Leafs Elimination Day. That was yesterday. Such a fun time had by all. But with that said, he wanted to make an appearance on today's show, so let's bring him in, the Prez.
That's right. I am here. I can take it. I mean, I came on here to congratulate Andrew. I was excited for him, and then he opened up with the biggest load of crap I ever heard in my life. So I am not now going to congratulate Andrew. Screw that. He said, oh, yeah, well, it was no surprise to Andrew. No surprise. Okay, what percentage unit did he release Montreal on the series price at, Carm? Do you remember? What was it, Carm?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
It's no surprise.
How many times did you give up the Leafs?
I came on here as a humble guy, and I had to listen to Andrew tell us that it was no surprise that his team won. And then he talks about depth and points out that Mitch Marner didn't score. By the way, Andrew, it's been 18 playoff games in a row since that overpaid guy hasn't scored. But with all that said, look, congrats to the Habs. I'm so happy that Buster's team won. Buster is a good guy. He deserves a lot of happiness in his life. He gets to watch a few more games. But I mean, I'm telling you now, I'm not worried about the future of the Leafs. I went back and looked, and the last time a team of young players like this won was the Chicago Blackhawks back with Kane and Taves, and that was like 15 years ago. Since then, it has been Ovechkin waiting 12 years before his cup. It was, one veteran team after another, the Blues, all veteran team, Tampa Bay veteran team, Washington veteran team, Boston does a run every year, veteran team. We've got a team of 23-year-olds. We are going to be just fine. And for the record, I would not have celebrated this series win. It is Stanley Cup or bust. So I will congratulate Andrew when the Habs win the Stanley Cup, because until then, all you get are a few more games. And Carm, I am with you on the Winnipeg. Anyway, Andrew, Buster, if you want to bring it at me, I woke up early to take it like a man. Just don't get on here and tell me you weren't surprised if you didn't have the balls to release it to your clients. Go ahead.
Hey, all I really want to say is that you're very media trained, Prez. I can tell you've definitely been doing some media for a couple of years. You definitely, were prepared. You
What
knew
does
what
that
you were going to
even
say.
mean?
If all of
I
our
had a whole
viewers out
speech
there
ready. I
in
didn't even get
YouTube,
it out because
I
of
know. Well,
your. I
it sounded
wasn't.
great. I just think that you're trying to make all of our viewers turn me into the bad guy when they've seen you all year long talk down to me, talk down
Yes.
to the Habs, talk up the Leafs. They don't know about the
And,
FaceTime call that I got.
and
They don't know about the
Andrew, I am
FaceTime call
here
that
to
I
take it.
got. No, hold on,
And
hold on, hold
I'm
on, hold
here
on,
to
hold on,
take
hold on.
it.
They don't know
I,
about the FaceTime call that I got when it was 2 Leafs. And we talked for 30 minutes and you wouldn't even let me speak because
well,
you
that
talked to me
wasn't.
about
That
how
was
bad
because
the
you were
Habs
speaking,
were.
Andrew. That was because you were speaking off topic. Every single time we have tried to discuss the Habs and the Leafs, you speak off topic. I call you up. I'm like, let's talk about the Habs. You're like, the Leafs suck. So I'm okay. We can't talk. Let's move on. Anyway, congratulations to the Habs. Listen, the bottom line is Carey Price played awesome. The Leafs played like shit. It was a choke job of epic proportion, no doubt about it. There's just absolutely no excuse. Sheldon Keefe was also outcoached. After the Leafs went up 4-1, the Habs changed their entire style. They owned their blue line. They did not forecheck. They literally said, bring it to our blue line and try get in. And the Leafs, who carry the puck into the blue line, would not adjust. They would not dump and chase. And because they wouldn't dump and chase, they had one forward playing high, two forwards and two defensemen standing on the blue line. And the Leafs they lost based on pride. They just wouldn't change their game. And that's on Sheldon Keefe. They should have moved to dump and chase hockey. It would have pulled the two defensemen back. It would have opened the ice a little more and at least allowed them to attack in a balanced manner. Look, I'm pissed at the Leafs. What can I tell you? I'm pissed at the Leafs. But I will end on this note, Carm. In my lifetime, I have cheered 3 championships. 3. How many has Andrew cheered? Halifax, what?
Halifax
Oh,
Mooseheads, yeah, they won actually a Memorial Cup coached by Dominic Ducharme.
No, the Mooseheads. Well, if we're counting
What
the
does that even
Mooseheads,
mean?
I've cheered hundreds.
That was
Anyway,
the most Ontario
congratulations,
thing you could have
Andrew.
done. That was the most Ontario person thing you could have done. I'm from Ontario. I live in a big city. What is it? What was that even? All right, let's get out of there.
And
How
I
long
hate
it
to
took?
apologize. I want to talk to Buster. Does Buster want to poke fun at me? No,
Prez,
Buster.
All right.
Andrew,
I'm
congratulations.
here.
The $500 bet now does not roll over because the Leafs don't get through. I will e-transfer you tonight. You are a good dude. I love you. I hope the Habs do amazing. I am cheering for the Avalanche. Go Avs all the way.
Prez, one last thing. Save it for dinner.
I can't hear you.
Save it for dinner when I get to Toronto. Save it for dinner. When I get to Toronto, save it for when I get there, and we'll have some fun with that money. How about that?
I can't hear one word you just said, but I appreciate it. And
Can anybody hear me?
Thank you guys for having me. Have a great show. And look, that's it. Andrew, your team was the better team. Congratulations. I was wrong.
I'm not sure. Can you guys hear me, Carm?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes.
I just wanted to say I'm happy Prez came on. I respect it. It wasn't even his usual spot. It's Buster's usual spot. So hats off to Prez for coming on. I knew he would still find a way to get some jabs in on me, but we're not surprised by that. But there's regular season teams and there's playoff teams, and the Leafs, they're a regular season team. Let's bring in Buster here. What's up, Buster?
Hey guys, how you doing? I was listening to the Prez there, and you know, I'm not going to say I was surprised. I was pleasantly surprised for sure that Montreal won. Being down 3-1, I took all the abuse, and Prez and Carmine can attest to all this because we're all in our 50s, and this stuff is generational. I actually talked about it kind of ironically or whatever, funny, whatever you want to talk about it last week when I mentioned 1993, and had a few comments in the YouTube section, but the DMs I got from diehard Leaf fans, well, you know what? This just goes to show you this game here. Prez will be, because he's in good shape, he'll be in his 80s. And that's how generational this game will be. People will be still talking about this series on what happened because of Toronto being such a big favorite. And I'm not going to sit here and gloat or anything because, but in saying that, and you weren't alive, Andrew, this is, if you're a Montreal Canadian fan, this is the best day after a hockey game since 1993 when we won the Cup. And ironically, like I said, I was mentioning that the last show. So as far as the Leafs go, it's I think they're going to have to blow it all up. Get rid of Shanahan, get rid of them all. I really do. There's something, for whatever reason, there's something that they just are missing. And I read all this stuff, like I know the new logistics or whatever people use now to bet hockey, these expected goals. And I know Brian Leonard does that very well. All that stuff's probably good and fine in the regular season. But now, when it comes to the playoffs, that stuff, you might as well throw that away because it's goaltending, it's heart, it's who works harder. And to me, and I'm not just saying this as a Montreal Canadian fan, I'm just saying this as an observer of the game. It looked to me that the Leafs were afraid to win. That game, Montreal played, it's a game 7 in Toronto. This should have been how Vegas won the other day. It should have been like that. And it wasn't.
Yep.
So again, it's a great day for all Montreal fans. Like I say, this is generational. And I'm just going to tell a quick little story because of all my friends that have been texting me when it was 3-1 and all that. But Carmine's giving me the cut sign. So obviously I don't have enough time to talk about how I've got Leaf friends that literally
make it quick.
Okay. That literally have had bonfires last night when they called me. They're done. They're done with NHL hockey. They're done with the Leafs. Think about it. It's over 50 years for these guys. Never seeing a cup. That's a lot of hurt. Anyways, sorry, Carmine. I don't get my 3 or 4 minutes, but that's all right. Go Habs. And oh, by the way, this shirt was bought for guys. A bunch of guys DM me about that too. 1983 in the Montreal Forum fan store. Thank you very much. And I never wore it for about 25 years, actually. But I'm wearing it proud now.
All right. Carm, bring in today's game, brother. Hurricanes and the Lightning. Game 2. Tampa leads the series 1-0.
Yeah. I'm just going to get the final word on this because we've spent about 14 minutes, discussing a first round series that ended. And we really need to get to what's going on here, which is the Tampa Bay Lightning and Hurricanes. Game 2, the line is the Hurricanes -115, the Lightning 105. Total sits at 5.5. And we know what happened in game 1. And I think every single game in this series is going to be very similar. These are two very good teams. The margins are thin here. It's going to be which goalie outperforms the other because the teams, as far as I am concerned, are evenly matched in this one. And Nedeljkovic obviously let in a bad goal, which allowed Tampa to win that game 2-1. So this is where we are now. It's game 2. Tampa is now -225 to win this series. Probably a little higher at some places. You can get Carolina if you still like them at +200 in a series that I think is going to go deep. I'm looking at probably taking a little bit, Andrew, a little bit more money in the series on Carolina because if they win tonight's game, and this is what you're basing it on, if they win tonight's game, they are in this series tied at 1, heading back to Tampa, and we're going to see. I'm not saying we're going to see a lot of zigzagging here, but I don't see this series ending in 5 games, 4 or 5 games. This is going to go 6, and this could possibly go 7. I'm going to throw it right back to you on this one, Andrew.
Thanks, Carmine. Yeah, I think there's no questioning the fact that Carolina had their chances, right? I think we can all three of us can agree that Carolina in that game had their chances to make something happen with 38 shots on goal. Vasilevsky just played unbelievable, and this is what you're going to expect from when you have Tampa Bay and Carolina going head to head with two great goaltenders, two great defensive teams, but surprisingly high shot counts, 38-30. But it was just those. It goes to show that, high shot counts doesn't always equate into dangerous scoring opportunities. And as Buster was talking about with those X goals, that's kind of what the new age of handicapping a little bit is, at least checking into those. I don't always believe in handicapping based off that, but, looking at this game, the Hurricanes in this category actually deserve to score a little bit more than they did. And I believe they will heading into tonight's game, Carm and Buster. So I'm going to go ahead here. My bet tonight on the game is going to be very simple. I'm going with the team total for the Carolina Hurricanes over 2.5 at a -120 price. Because look, I think that what I love about team totals, especially these 2.5s, is that Carolina, that Tampa Bay could win this game 4-3, and we cash our wager, we win our bet, and they could not even win the game. And at over 2.5, I just think with the amount of chances we had, with the bounce back ability from the upfront crew, I expect lots from Sebastian Aho tonight. I think that we'll see guys like, Dougie Hamilton jump into the rush, a lot of defensemen jumping in to make kind of a fourth forward on the team. And we'll see some more goals. I mean, it was an absolute goaltender display. But, I think that progressively as the series goes on, we will see more goals. But we can't be surprised with how talented those goaltenders are that game 1 was as tight as it was, guys, in round 2. But my bet is going to be the over 2.5 team total here, guys, for Carolina. And Carm, I can't disagree with you, man, on that great plus price. You and I are already riding with the Hurricanes on the series price. But to see them down 1-0 now and to get an even better price at, what'd you say, plus 200, I think you said, Carm. It's pretty nice to see that just after one game. So.
Yeah, I right now at a few different books, you're seeing Tampa Bay at -278. You're seeing Carolina at plus 216 as far as the price goes, and that's it is pretty good. Take advantage of these series prices because at the same, I'll always say when you have got a plus price on a series that you think is going to go a little bit deep, there's going to be changes in that number. You can take sort of the narrative of, if Carolina wins tonight, that price now drops down to probably about plus 130, plus 140. If they somehow win one of the 2 games in Tampa Bay, it's going to go right back to these teams being minus 110 either way heading into the final 3 games of this series. So it's one thing I think you have to look at. And I do get your point of, and it's going to be one of my show best bets at the end, that we'll likely see some goals scored in this game as well too. Let's get Buster's thoughts on this one.
Yeah, well, as you guys know, I'm with you on I've got a Carolina series play out to my clients. Also, I have bet the Carolina like you guys. I think it was Carmine we were talking about it the one time when you said you'd got down on them for the cup about 2-3 months ago. So I did as well. One thing that scares me, again, I like Carolina. I think they're the better team. But what we saw from Vasilevsky, and I talked about it 2-3 weeks ago. We've all talked about it. Carmine's talked about how Vasilevsky at home was unbelievable. Had a bad series last year against Florida, and you could almost argue that if Florida had any kind of goaltending, Tampa Bay might not be playing this series. So, again, now Vasilevsky, he had like 37 saves or maybe 36 out of 37. That scares me. I actually was going to make this a 5% play to my clients for the series. When it came out, it was like minus 110 for the series. I thought that was way too low. But what I did say, the reason why I didn't do that is for fear of Nedeljkovic. He's a young guy. And as each series goes on, as each game goes on, he's not used to playing like this. So that can be problematic maybe. Maybe not this series, but maybe moving forward. and Vasilevsky with his home record and how bad he played in the first series against Florida. So that was a concern. Basically, though, I believe Carolina is a better team in a lot of ways, and I think you see them win tonight. They need to win tonight, and I'm not a zigzag theory guy. Carolina's, I just believe, is a better team. You're going to see some goals, and my worry, I've been thinking about it, but I think I'll just set with my series bet because of what I've seen with Vasilevsky, and he might be able to pull a price again tonight too. So, just be careful on that.
Well, it's definitely a thing that goalies can steal a series. Obviously the goalies aren't doing the scoring, but if they're trustworthy back there and they're your backbone, they can really be a huge help. And I want to mention as well, the Hurricanes 1 for 5 on the power play. We saw the Lightning go 1 for 3. So Carmine expecting more goals as well. And Buster talking about the great goaltending display. We'll see if we see those same amount of power play opportunities tonight, if we'll see a change in the result there. And I like to always keep tabs on that, guys, because the more power play opportunities you get, the more you're at least going to build confidence and eventually start potting a few. Carm, any final thoughts before we move into our next game?
No, and Buster makes a very good point. You know what I mean? We're looking at goalies here. Listen, Nedeljkovic has been just lights out since they gave him that starter's role when Mrazek went down with an injury. He's played extremely well. He's already been confirmed as the starting goalie tonight, which he should be because other than that bad goal, listen, he played extremely well. They got 38 shots on goal. We're talking about Carolina here. They're going to continue to pepper Vasilevsky, but as he said, a goalie can steal you a game, and this is what you need this time of the year in the NHL, especially in the playoffs, where where you have two teams are evenly matched. You may not see a lot of power plays, and if you do, good teams. Carolina was the only team during the regular season. I think they were top 3 in each category: penalty killing and power play. This is a very good team, but they're running into another very good team in this Tampa Bay one. And unfortunately for them, because if they were in any other division, they probably they're probably favorites to win the series. I still think, and obviously it's all dependent on tonight. They've got to win tonight. They can't go back to Tampa down 2-0 in the series. I think if they do, they're pretty much toast in this series. I hate to say it because they've got to win 4 of the next 5 against the Tampa side. So you have to look at them to try and make it even tonight. So Canes for me to win tonight, and some goals along the way as well, Andrew.
Let's get it done, Carm. And I will say, as much of a low-scoring game that it was, guys, I'm pretty sure we could all agree it was entertaining. I enjoyed watching that game. It was fun. From a fan perspective, it was a fun game. Lots of opportunities. The goals just weren't there. Buster, let's start with you with your thoughts on the Vegas Golden Knights and the Colorado Avalanche. Look, I'm rooting on Nathan McKinnon. I hope he does really well. I want to see him get a cup just like Sidney Crosby did. He obviously is from close to my hometown, and he continues to impress and continues to take that next level in the playoffs. And the Vegas Golden Knights, it kind of bothers me, Buster, that everybody's going after Robin Lehner. Total sits at 5.5 here. I see more goals happening again, but it's not because of the goaltending. That game is not Robin Lehner's fault. Maybe 1 or 2 goals were a little bit soft, but that team did not show up defensively. And the Avalanche, well, it's kind of the old-fashioned cliche handicap. They were rested, and the Golden Knights weren't, and the speed really showed for the Avalanche, Buster.
Yeah, you're right, Andrew. And myself, I go with that kind of logic. I actually had the Carolina, that first period play I like to do not Carolina, Colorado. First period play had Colorado for the game. Is because, Vegas coming off, that's a tough 7-game series they had with Minnesota. So when that happens, it's just normal. Like it's a big excitement, and then you have to go on the road too. If they would have played at home, might have been a little bit different, but now you got to go on the road. That was a tough, and once they got down like that, you could see they weren't really in the game. I'm expecting a better performance out of Vegas tonight. Not sure if that's going to really matter though. I think, I tell you, that Colorado looked really good, and like you said, A lot of those goals were in Leonard's fault. Those passing plays, and they went 2 out of 6 on the power play. They missed a bunch of chances. They probably could have went 4 to 6 on the power play. If they get a bunch of power plays, Vegas is going to be in trouble. It looks right now, of course, it's a 7-1 game. It looks like, Vegas, Colorado might walk all over. But no, that's not going to be the way it is. Vegas is a very good home club. They might not get through tomorrow night, but they're very good at home. And Fleury, when he gets a net, he can be really good. Now he's been really good so far. Can he carry it against Colorado? And if Colorado keeps making all these plays the way they've been playing and they're scoring on empty nets, it's going to be very tough for Vegas. But I'm expecting tomorrow for them to have a much better game.
I am too, and I'm expecting it to be in a defensive matter. I think it's very clear and very apparent that this team, they can't hang with the constant speed of the Colorado Avalanche. Everybody always loves talking about how fast the Vegas Golden Knights are. But to me, I look at them as a playoff team that has some speed and has some goal scoring capability. But I also think that they're the kind of team that should be dumping and chasing and cycling the puck around. Whereas if you look at pretty much every one of the Colorado Avalanche goals, they're off the rush, off the counterattack, defensemen springing the puck up the ice to a forward. And that's what you get when you draft so well and you draft these offensive defensemen like Samuel Girard and Cale Makar. Cale Makar looks like he's a 10-year veteran in this league. It's unbelievable. The pass that he made down low to Gabriel Landeskog was unbelievable. It's going to be interesting. And, as far as the total goes, like I said, 5.5, my lean's still going to be more towards the over because I just don't think anyone can beat this Avalanche team scoring, 2 or 3 goals. I think you have to score actually 4 goals to beat the Colorado Avalanche. So we'll see what happens. Carm, what do you think here as far as the total, though? Do you think that we'll see many more goals?
Well, we're going to see Fleury back in goal, and maybe that day off, which we thought there was going to happen in the game, in game 1, has happened. Listen, this isn't a Vegas team that's going to lose games by a scoreline of 7-1 to Colorado. I think we gravitate back to some of the games that we saw between these two teams during the regular season, some of these 2-1, 3-2 type games. We know Vegas is going to be better in game 2. Are they going to be better enough that they can beat Colorado? Because this Colorado team's won 19? I think you have to go like 19 games to find a regulation time loss, to probably even more at home. They are playing extremely well. They're getting secondary scoring. It's a very good team, but I'm not ready to write off the Golden Knights after one game, despite the 7-1 scoreline, because it's just not a true indication of who that team is. They came out of a very difficult series with the Minnesota Wild, who gave them a very tough time going 7 games. And regardless of what that final scoreline was in game 7, that was a tough series for them. You had to expect, starting with 1 day's rest and going out there, and with, yes, he's the backup goalie, but he's a very good backup goalie, and Robert Lehner, that the energy level just wasn't there. In Vegas, coming off an easy series against the St. Louis Blues, pounced all over them. I don't think we see that tonight. If we see a 5-6-1 game tonight for Colorado, I would be completely surprised. Not surprised in the sense of I can't believe they scored 5 or 6 goals, because they're a very good team. Just surprised that Vegas would roll over a second game in a row. I think this one's a closer scoring, or a closer game. I still love this Avalanche team, Andrew, because I took them in the series price minus a game and a half, because I think they win this series in 6 or less. So, yeah, I'd like to see them win tonight. But I think we see a lower scoring game. I don't think we see a ton of goals, but we'll find out tonight.
I think some credit has to go towards Philip Grubauer as well. We're going to talk about, the goaltending change for Vegas. I think Philip Grubauer did his job and shut things down to the best of his ability. But like you said, Carm, we're going to see some changes when Marc-Andre Fleury shows up. We know he's been great throughout the playoffs. Buster, I want to go to you. Let us know what you have up at sportsmemo.com, but at WagerTalk, we do have $2 Tuesday. Same thing with Sports Memo. So make sure you guys check out those plays. The best play from the hottest handicapper at both websites for just $2. Obviously, every single Tuesday, You guys can look for that at each website and find the hottest handicapper for just $2. But Buster, what do you have up that we can buy? I know you're betting NBA as well, NHL. What's going on with you?
Yeah, my NBA has been really good. We're on I believe it's like 9-0 or 10-0 NBA total run, 12-2 in the last 14 in the playoffs. However, tonight I have a triple play in Major League Baseball. Had a fantastic April in baseball. Not so much in May, but we're looking to change that around come the 1st of June here. My show play is going to be, and I know I always do these -0.5 plays in that, so I'm not doing that this time. Carolina -115. It's a great price to me. Should be about -125, 130. So series up tonight. Oh, and one more thing. Go Habs, go.
Buster taking the Hurricanes, giving us the flash of the jersey. Carm, what's going on with you? I know you were betting some other soccer yesterday. Any more soccer action today? What's going on with you?
No soccer action today. I am later today. I am recording a video with Kelly Stewart. Yes, the one and only Kelly Stewart. I'm always excited doing any type of sports video with her. Her knowledge is absolutely fantastic. So I'm looking forward to that. One play up in the NHL tonight. 2-0 sweep last night for my clients. The under in the Leafs game and the over in the Bruins game. And if you watch yesterday's show, I did talk about that Bruins over in this series. If they keep giving me fives, I'm going to keep taking it because this series is going to have some goals in it. And now it switches over to New York now for Game 3. So we'll see what happens there if that continues on. So one game up there. As far as my show best bet, I am going to go to a score tonight. I like the fact that Andrew likes that we're going to see some goals tonight. So I'm going to go with a player prop. Let's see if we can get this one. We had Trocheck in the last game, and obviously he didn't score. They had trouble scoring more than that one goal. I'm going to go with Sebastian Aho in this game. He's at plus 135 to score. Hopefully we see some goals in this game tonight from both teams. I hope it's an exciting game. It's got to be much better than that Montreal and Toronto game was last night. And my final thought on that game is just to say hello to a couple people on the show who are both Leaf and Montreal fans. He's a guy who comments in our chat all the time, Pizza Dan. I am heading north after this show to pick up a couple large pizzas courtesy of Pizza Dan on a losing bet in the Montreal-Toronto series. And to a Montreal fan, Chantel, who comments as well too. She and her family are huge Habs fans. So congrats to them on the winning the series yesterday.
Good stuff, Carm. Looks like we're all going to have a bet that's somehow correlated with the Carolina Hurricanes. Before I get into that, I will say, not NHL related. I'm giving you guys my favorite bet right now on the show, but I have an NBA best bet package up there. I know all of you guys kind of know me for hockey and my baseball plays, but we're definitely involved in the NBA as well. I just don't really mess with the regular season as much. So you can grab that 4% play, 2% on the first half, 2% full game up at WagerTalk in the NBA tonight. And I have French Open action tomorrow morning, nice and early. I know Carmine will have some plays up as well. French Open action has begun. I'll have some tennis action for you guys up at WagerTalk as well. And I got to shout somebody out too. Mohamed Joma. He's in our chat room all the time. He's always commenting. He's a diehard Canadiens fan. Never gives up on them. Always said that this is what he expected out of them, and he got what he wished. So shout out to Mohamed. My best bet, guys, Carolina over 2.5 on their team total. We're going to see some goals tonight. Might not be goals galore. We're going to see a few goals, and hopefully Buster, Carm, and I can all win our best bets on the show today. Buster has Carolina. I have their team total, and Carmine has Sebastian Aho to score a goal at plus 135. Let's make it a clean sweep, guys. 3-0 on these power plays. Let's get it done. Appreciate Buster coming on. Always good to see Carmine, and a special guest appearance from the classy man himself, Lawrence Presman. Best of luck tonight, guys. I'll see you tomorrow right here on WagerTalk TV.
tired of games of the year and 100-unit locks? If so, check out the professional handicappers at WagerTalk.com today. We leave all that nonsense for the other guys. And for a limited time, new users get their first daily picks purchase up to $40 for only $1. $1? Whose idea was that? Johnny Detroit? I guess so. To redeem this special, just go to WagerTalk.com, choose a handicapper and their picks package using coupon code TRYWagerTalk when checking out.